one night, after we had been through kamikazes all day, we'd always go to the wardroom and have dinner and sit down and have a cup of coffee. And Bill and I were sitting there talking one night, and the gun boss came in and he said, well, we had a good day today and we shot down some planes. How are you fellas doing? And Bill and I said, we're doing fine. And I said, by the way, I said it would be nice if we had someone who was in CIC on the radar set, giving us a heads up on when there was an enemy plane coming in and from what direction it was coming. And he kind of smiled and said, yeah, you're right, we've got to do that, we've got to get that up. The next week I had been reassigned to CIC. I talked out of certain terms. I was upset. I like to be topside where things were going on, and I didn't like it. But CIC was dark and quiet and cool. It was air conditioned. And so I pretty soon got used to it because you could see there the overall battle. You weren't just focused on what your ship was doing, but you had all of the radars and all of the fighter directors from all over the whole Third Fleet. Actually, we could manage all of it, and it was a big scene. You could encompass it all, and I made notes so I could afterwards I could go over and talk to our other gunnery officer and say, look, this is what I saw. And I couldn't tell them this over the telephone, but all I could do was say, there's a bogey coming in for the starboard quarter, train out and be ready in case he comes close enough, or something like that. That was all we could do. But then, being in CIC, you got the overall picture of who was doing what and where they were happening and where the Japanese were coming in from. And at nighttime was especially interesting because we had the night fighters up and everybody else was quiet. So it was our fighters who were talking to our CIC officers, and we could follow the conversation throughout. And I made notes on who's seen it. They called in one day and said, I have just the fighter, the F-6S were the fighters. They were the nightcap, but we had the Avengers out on search methods, and they were looking for any Japanese sighting. And one of them came up and said, Cupid, this is Cupid so-and-so. We have, I've just spotted 4 Japanese battleships, 9 cruisers, a whole bunch of destroyers that are headed towards San Bernardino Strait. And so that was the real alert that we were looking for. And then that's what the word got through. Didn't get through to the fleet commander though. But it was all by voice, so we tried to pass it on. We did. If Halsey had known that, he wouldn't have made that dash up north. I'm convinced that he didn't know that message had come through.
Yeah. Interesting. But
it was interesting to sit in CIC, where you could see and hear everything that was going on. It was the big picture, whereas heretofore on the flight deck, I just had our local ship and a few others.